And now we got a movie called Woman of the Hour based on a true story. So we go to 1977 in Wyoming. Rodney's taking pictures of this chick by the name of Sarah. And the thing was, a baby daddy left her or something like that. He was taking pictures of her in the middle of like a wasteland or something. He tries to comfort her, then out of the blue he just starts choking her. Then he resuscitated her back to life. Then we seen him dragging her. Needless to say, he probably killed her. Then we go to 1978 in Hollywood. You got this chick by the name of Cheryl, played by Anna Kendrick. She's been trying to do all these auditions but can't find nothing. And on top of that, she hadn't been able to pay rent. She got this dude that live in the same apartment complex by the name of Terry. He's helping her out, you know what I'm saying? Basically, her only friend there. And she calls up this chick by the name of Helen that's trying to get her gigs. She ends up getting her this one spot in the show called The Dating Game. Now, if you don't know what a dating game is, it's basically like the love connection. For all you kiddies out there, it's like that 1v20, 20v1 shit. Anyway, then we go to St. Gabriel's in 1979. You got this chick by the name of Amy. She's like a homeless runaway or whatever. You see some random dude taking pictures of her or whatever like that. Guess who it is? Fucking Rodney. He gives her the whole photography speech. Next thing you know, she riding in his car. So back to 1978, here we got The Dating Game. Now basically the dating game goes like this. She's the one, you know what I'm saying? You got 3 other bachelors, but she can't see their faces and don't know their names. You gotta ask like a series of questions or whatever like that, and then she gotta decide which bachelor she wants to pick. Bachelor number 3 just happens to be Rodney. Now there's one couple in the audience, Ed and Laura. Now Laura is scared to death. Because the thing is, everybody in the audience can see who the bachelors are. Obviously Cheryl can't. When Laura saw Rodney, she got scared to death and ran out of the fucking production booth. Now why did she get scared? Well, they flash back when she was at the beach one day with her homegirl named Allison, right? Now all these people are around and Rodney just happened to be at the beach at the same time. Apparently she left to go somewhere else that night and came back to check up on her homegirl Allison and found her raped and murdered. And she's thinking to herself, the only person that could have did that was Rodney. But here's the thing. He was never convicted of it because they ain't find no evidence. Then it jumps to 1971. Yeah, the movie jumps back and forth like that. But anyway, now we're in New York in 1971. You got this chick by the name of Charlie. She's trying to move some stuff into the building or whatever. Now, the people come and actually bring the furniture or whatever, but they can't move it up. And he's just like, really? She needs help getting into the building. She sees somebody taking pictures. Guess who? Motherfucking Rodney. So he helps her get her stuff into the apartment. They get to chit-chatting, and next thing you know, Rodney ends up choking her out, done deal, dead as shit. Now back to the dating game. Cheryl starts asking all these wild, like smart, questions or whatever like that, and apparently Rodney has all the right answers. While this is going on, Laura goes to the police department, right? Or she goes to security and be like, I need to speak to somebody who's in charge of the show. So the security guard is going to direct him to the guy by the name of George Emmett or whatever like that. So she has him sitting in the booth or whatever, in the lobby and shit, right? So she ends up talking to the janitor, right? And she's looking for a guy named George, and it turns out that's the janitor's name, George Emmett. So we're like, wow. So basically the security guard didn't take her serious at all. And she ends up just leaving. Then we get this one scene where it's like still in New York. It's like a flash photography studio or something like that. And Rodney's actually working there. Now he's showing off all these pictures he has or whatever like that. He's trying to say that he went to a Warren Beatty party. I was like, word. But one guy at the job kept looking at him weird. This dude by the name of CJ. He's asking about the pictures. Next thing you know, the director comes in there and was like, some people out here to see you, Rodney. It's the fucking cops. So Rodney plays it off and says, yeah, somebody vandalized my house last week, so they're probably just looking up on it. I'm just like, yeah, right. So they told him to go about their business, so I'm thinking to myself, like, there's nobody finding any evidence on this shit. Pretty sure they was talking to him about the situation that happened with Charlie back at the fucking apartment. All right, so now back to the dating game again. Rodney intimidates bachelor number 2 for some reason. He gets these weird vibes from him, you know what I'm saying, then they go on commercial break. Bottom line, Cheryl ends up picking bachelor 3. She ends up shaking bachelor 1's hand. She ends up hugging bachelor 2, but bachelor 2 tells her in her ear, like, watch this guy, he's an asshole. And then Rodney comes out. Now they're supposed to go on this date. They're supposed to go somewhere in California. Now director and them, they're supposed to set up the tickets or whatever, stuff like that, right? Now the thing is, she's leaving the show, and as she's leaving, Rodney's right there. So for them to get to know each other better, they end up going to a bar. Everything was some casual conversation, but then it just got eerily quiet for a minute. So she's about to go to a car, but then like Rodney, they want to exchange information and stuff like that, right? So then she writes down a phone number and gives it to him. I want you to keep this in mind. They're in a dark parking lot. Rodney calls her back over, right? He says, can you say your number to me? Because, you know, sometimes I try to figure out the 4s are different from the 9s. And she's not trying to come closer. Indicating he probably figured that she gave him a wrong number. So then he's like, yeah, I guess we're not going to California, are we? So she starts walking slow. She tries to hurry up, get to the car. But then he stops her at the car. Right before he can do anything, all these people start coming out of this random building. So he leaves and she drives off. Now we go back to Rodney when he was driving Amy. Now keep in mind, this is 1979, a year after that. They're talking back and forth in the car. They feel like they're connecting with the vibes and whatnot. He takes her to a spot in the middle of nowhere, the same spot that he took Sarah at. Not technically because that was in Wyoming, but anyway, it's a similar type of atmosphere. So he's taking pictures by her in the sunset over by this cliff, and then all of a sudden she turns around, she's looking up at the sun or whatever. Next thing you know, he ends up pushing her off the fucking cliff. But here's the crazy shit. Amy actually woke up and her face was all messed up, whatever like that, and she was tied up with her hands. And she looks next to her and see Rodney crying or whatever like that. We was like, what the fuck is he crying about? And she says, hey, it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Let's not tell anybody about this, you know what I'm saying? It's our little secret. I'm thinking to myself, what happened at that point where she fell off the cliff and all of a sudden she got tied up? What exactly did they do? So the thing is, she makes it seem like she's with it, you know what I'm saying? So he ends up untying her and they end up getting back in the car. They stop at the gas station and she asks him, you want anything to eat? She's like, nah. So he ends up going in the gas station. While he's in there, Amy dips the fuck out and starts running down towards his diner, right? Rodney's in the bathroom straightening himself up and all this other stuff. He comes out the bathroom. Next thing he knows, he sees the car door open and he's just sitting there looking around. And all of a sudden he hears sirens. That's right, Amy called the cops. And we see this one situation where Laura tried to confront the cops again, but they still weren't doing nothing. They kept saying they have no evidence and all that stuff. And of course she's frustrated. And now we see Rodney finally getting arrested, right? Well, Amy definitely called the cops on him. Now the thing is he got arrested, but the thing was he actually made bail. After he got out, he ended up killing like 12 more other women, including a 12-year-old girl. That caught up to him because I guess he got sloppy and then they finally arrested him. They pinned 7 girls on him and he ended up getting locked up for about 31 years. Most of the people think that, his victims are probably like 130, but they just never found the bodies. So after 31 years, when Rodney was trying to get his appeal, guess who shows up to stop that shit? Amy. And basically, Rodney died in jail. Laura and Ed still lived as a couple, and Cheryl ended up moving away from California. She started her own family and left a quiet life. Like I said, this is apparently based on a true story. And honestly, I actually saw this story before. Now, I heard it was about 150 victims, and I heard they found like all these pictures or whatever like that. The thing is, the pictures are the victims that he killed. Now, I heard they found the pictures in his cabin. But to this day, I'm not even sure if they even found all the bodies. Now, keep in mind, he was doing this for damn near a decade, at least from like 1971 on up, as far as we know. Man, this shit is crazy. My thing is, how they ain't check his credentials for him to actually go on a dating show? But then again, as the police would say back in the day, there was no evidence against him. Man, that shit was wild. Woman of the Hour on Netflix. Check it out.